So here we go. Hi, everybody. It's Michelle Renee from iamMichelleRena.com. And today I have the beautiful and amazing, the innovative Sirobe with me today. So if you've seen my video reviewing her products, it is not a lie. Catch this glow. Okay, catch this glow. Sirobe has come in and taken the skincare scene by storm. So Sirobe, I want you to tell everybody who you are, where you're from, where you are now, and then we're going to move this thing right on forward.
Okay, sure. I am originally from Vicksburg, Mississippi. I'm an architect and urban planner by day. I've always been a skincare enthusiast. I believe we both chatted a bit about it, that we both started off on Mary Kay. Like, as soon as I got my period as a little girl, my mom put me on a skincare routine. Yeah. So I never had an issue with acne or like blemishes growing up because I already had everything together.
That's smart. I'm going to think about that for my girls too. So that's very smart.
It's very... Definitely, I would recommend it because it just helps keep their skin clear all through high school, you know, especially when the excess oil and everything is coming through with puberty.
Nice.
So from Mississippi, I lived in Italy for a while. I worked overseas for a while. Worked for the Corps of Engineers, and now I work for a real estate company here in New York, and I am based in Harlem, and I love it.
Harlem. We got a couple of connections here, so let me point them out just so we could get this 6 degrees of separation. So
okay.
We actually went to Mississippi State together.
Right.
You pledged AKA, I pledged Delta.
Okay.
You're from Vicksburg, I'm from Raymond. They're about 20 minutes apart, not far at all. You live in Harlem. My dad's born and raised in Harlem.
Wow.
So all these different connections, and I'm like, you know, how you see somebody, I always admired you when I was at Mississippi State, because you, just the way you carry yourself is so, oh my gosh, just, you're a picture of elegance. So when I saw you and saw you talking about the skincare line, I was like, okay, so she's always had flawless skin, but now she's showing her, okay, she's giving away secrets. Let me get into this. Let me check it out. And literally from the first wash, I was blown away. From the first time I use the products, and that has never happened with anything. Usually when I try products, my skin feels dry, or it feels tight, or it feels irritated. And I'm like, this is too harsh, or, you know, it's not supposed to, like, you end up with breakout. Someone's like, oh, you got to go through the breakout phase. So I'm like, that doesn't feel right.
Yes, we have to talk about that. Yes.
That does not feel right. Like, I don't feel like I should have to have breakouts in order to have clear skin. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So give us a brief description of your brand and what really makes it what it is.
Okay, so it is made from all natural products. So the first thing, that it's fresh. So just the way that good fruits and vegetables, as soon as they come from the ground, are best for your body, it's also best for your face, you know? So I don't know why I never put those two together before until COVID hit. I'm like, I need to make my own stuff, but it's fresh. The second one is that I make small batches, right? So there's not I don't have a lot of waste, so there's not any just leftover, either the materials or the packaging that I use. I pretty much use what I need. I try to be good to the earth. The third thing I would say, it's seasonal. So a lot of people don't know that you should change your skincare routine with the seasons. You know, I
had no idea about that until I started reading your post. I was like, that kind of makes sense, because I have dry skin in the winter, but I have oily skin in summer and spring.
Yes. Yeah, your body, like, we're still mammals, right? So we still are very connected to the circle of life, and that includes like the weather and everything. So just changing your skincare routine with the weather, no matter where you are, because if you're still in a tropical climate, it's still a little bit, you know, you have the rainy season and the dry season. So just making sure that it goes with where you are. And then the last one is that it's chemical free. My mom is a chemist, so we go back and forth on, I'm a purist as far as, like, I don't want to shake my bottle. Like, it should be ready when I'm ready to use it. Absolutely. But to get that from natural chemicals, from the natural way that I make my skincare products, I would have to put a chemical in it for it to stay mixed. because oil and water don't go together. So if I'm using a water-based product and it has like the essential oils and the glycerin in it, it's never going to naturally mix and never separate. So you do need to shake your products before every use.
Right. And I do. And you see the fruits and you see the essence of everything kind of coming together. And you're like, okay, I've never managed or used a product that felt right. Like as I'm using it, it feels right. Like it doesn't smell funky. It doesn't feel like I'm putting a film or something on me. It feels right. And so when you finish washing your face or going through that routine, you feel refreshed. And it's like, that just gave me life. I felt my skin. I told my husband, I was like, touch my skin. He's like, babe, that's soft. I said, hey, when have I had soft skin? Like having kids and hormones and just being an adult and puberty and all these things, you don't really experience that. So to have that, you're like, okay, what is going on here? And why aren't more companies pushing to have some type of natural skincare going on, right?
Because it's a numbers game, right?
Absolutely.
It's a numbers game because it is more expensive to use the essential oils and everything to keep the bacteria and the fungus from growing. It's definitely more expensive. Also, if I'm trying to mass produce and be in a Sephora or whatever, I don't know how long it's going to be sitting on that shelf, right? So if I do something natural and I don't have the numbers, let's say if 1 week I get 100 orders and the next week I get 25 orders or whatever, then it stays at 25 for like 3 or 4 months. That batch you got to throw away.
Yep.
So that's why I make small batches and cater to who ordered that week. So it's like, as soon as I make it, it's to you and you don't have that shelf life. Right. But do I make as much money as like if it was sitting on, if I just sold it to a Sephora and let it be? No, I don't. But if I did it that way, it would completely nix the quality of the product.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me, how'd you get started in this business, in the skincare business, in the beauty type business?
Okay. Yeah. So what's funny, both times it came out of necessity. So the first time that I ever started making my own skin or hair products or putting things on my face that were natural was I was actually in Milan and my mom sending me like, my hair products and my skincare products with the oil base. She was sending it from a refinery because, she would just take it to work and mail it. And the next thing I know, I get a call from customs and it's like, well, this is oil based and it came from a refinery. So what is this? And I'm like, it's stuff for my hair. I'm not a terrorist.
Right. What are you talking about? Like, I just want to moisturize my hair.
Exactly. So, and then they were like charging me a ridiculous amount of money she already paid a ridiculous amount of money to send it to me. And then I had to pay, on the other side to get it from customs. So I'm like, look, I can make some stuff myself. And that was the end of that. Right. For instance, I would coat my hair with olive oil before I washed it. Okay. Because there was just so much calcium in their water that it would just be, really dry and brittle. Right. So it's like I started doing coconut oils, olive oils on my skin and my hair. So, and then it's kind of one of those things when you notice something is better for you, but you're lazy. So when I came back to America, so it's like when I came back to America, I would just go back to what I knew, buying whatever I had been using before. But I've always loved to try different skincare stuff. So then the next time where this all came about was thank you, Sephora, for being like a month behind in orders for COVID. I'm like, I need to buy some more. Because the first thing I think I was out of was like moisturizer. It took me a month to get it. And I'm just like, man, now I'm out of cleanser. But I'm not doing this another
I'm not
month.
going through this circle with you guys. Yes. I get it.
And then my friend tested me some roses. So I'm like, oh, I should make my own toner with these roses. Don't waste them. And so I just put my process on social media. And everybody was like, the transparency and how does it look? Does it really work? Because your skin is good, I'm like, yeah. So then it just became can I have some? So first I just started sending it out. Like, I didn't pay for the roses, so here, everybody, have some.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, well, can I get a full bottle? I'll pay you for it. And I'm like, okay, then let me get a shop open.
Okay.
And it was just that quick. It was pretty much like it just happened overnight.
Well, I hope that this is the tale of an overnight success that continues, because I have never, like I said, I've been doing a skincare thing since forever, because I've been a makeup wearer since forever. And in the midst of that, like having something that works for my skin, that doesn't just cleanse it, but makes it look refreshed and feel refreshed, is so powerful. And I'm reading your brand's mission. It says, for women to unleash and embrace their natural beauty. For a young lady who has worn makeup since she was like 14 years old, to be able to walk out with just brows, just lipstick, or just brows and lip balm, it took me 20 plus years to get here.
Oh,
and that has everything to do with the confidence I have now in my skin, which has everything to do with Sirobe skin. So
thank you. That's
look at that. Like, I'm going, I have never, ever felt comfortable walking out of the house without being concealed and matted and all those things. And now I get up, my husband's like, you ready to roll? I'm ready to roll.
Right. And so that makes me feel so good, because I know so many women like that, you know, that have those issues where it's like, oh no, let me put on my concealer, let me do this. And when you have those breakouts, putting on makeup over it is actually the wrong thing for you to do. But it just makes me feel so good, because I never had those issues. So I couldn't really understand when my friends would be like, oh, let me do my makeup. And I'm like, what? You look fine, you know? But it's what you said. It's how you feel about yourself. So giving someone that confidence on, like, you know, this is me, this is my face, and it's gorgeous, because you are gorgeous for sure.
Thank you.
And just let women just embrace their natural beauty has been like overwhelming for me.
And I can say it doesn't hurt to walk out and people compliment like how beautiful your skin is. Like, that's never been a trait that people complimented me on. They'll say, oh my gosh, your makeup is flawless, or, oh, you look so pretty. And I'm going, oh, thank you. And I'm like, I wonder if I wash my face, would I get that same compliment? But to go around barefaced and people say, oh my God, your skin looks so beautiful. Oh my gosh, you're glowing. Are you expecting? We're not doing that.
Yes.
This is a Sirobe glow. Let me introduce you to these products.
I completely feel you.
Right,
you
but
know,
to have
it does feel differently when you're just like, today we went to brunch, and then I forgot that I had brunch in the interview right after. So I'm like, I'm going to brunch. We're going to be outside. I don't need to put on makeup. And then like the interview popped up, and I'm like, no, I don't have my makeup on. And then I'm like, you know what?
Beautiful.
Thank you. I'm like, it's a skincare. Let the people see your real, you know, with no makeup. Because that's what, if I saw an interview about somebody doing skincare and you come with a full face of makeup, I would be like
you start questioning things. Because I went in the bathroom, I was like, okay, I washed my face freshly, I used my toner, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going just like this.
It looks great. It looks so good. And it has just such a natural glow. And when you have that glow, it just looks like you're happy. You love your life. You love yourself. And so I love it.
It's, if nothing more, it gives you this feel good thing that you got going, which I absolutely love. So tell me this, like, how do you feel like your brand has impacted the African-American community?
So I didn't know. And I know people have asked me, like, what do I use? What brands do I suggest for like years? But I didn't know so many African-American women did not have a routine. And then we're using products like Noxzema, Dove soap, alcohol, sea breeze, all this kind of stuff on their face. And I'm like, okay, wait, first of all, get all of that off your face. Dial soap. This one lady told me she was using Dial soap, like, on your face. It's like, never do that again. So it's been, and it's like, we can joke about it, you know, it's not like trying to shame anybody, but it's like, stop, sis, don't do this. So it's really been
damaging your skin.
Exactly. It's a safe space.
Yeah.
It's just been a safe space for them to say, I don't know what I'm doing. What should I do? Can you help me? And you know, when somebody comes to me like that, I say, okay, we're going to start you off with the beginner. Just do these 3 things for like 4 or 5 weeks, and then we'll go from there. You know, it's like, was too much for someone that doesn't have a skincare regimen. It's like, okay, you need a cleanser, a toner, a moisturizer, an eye cream, a night serum, a day serum, a sunscreen.
You literally start freaking out like, I just want to be able to wash my face. Like, just help me wash my face.
Right, it's like in a daily mask, and that's like a product, and that could easily be $300. So it was like I wanted to develop something where I could start at least with 2 products for sure, and giving you things to start your regimen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What are some things, 2020 has been a year of years. We've been in it for about a decade now. What are some things you learned about yourself and your business in 2020, especially with it being something that you launched here in the midst of a pandemic?
So this is a great question, because I started 2 businesses before, right? And they just which is a good problem to have, is like so demanding and so overwhelming. And I didn't have the resources or like the people to like meet it, right? So they both failed. And then I was trying to do both at the same time, right? But what I did with those is I made sure everything was perfect before I even told anybody about it. I was like, I had my LLC, I had like the investors and this and that, and everything was so perfect. And then it launched and it just fell flat. Like, it was like, okay, yes, this is great, but it's not the people you wanted. It's these corporate people, and they don't need one of it. They need like 1,500. You know? Like,
Tomorrow.
okay. Yes.
Like now. Yes.
And I'm like, I'm still ironing out the prototype. So this time I was like, okay, you know what? Let's start with the product first. Let's perfect the product. Everything else will come. So like, inside secret, I still haven't gotten the bottles, just because COVID has like taken so much for like people doing hand soaps and all this kind of stuff that I want to use, right? I want to use the bottle so that the Cuckoo and the Berry Right cleanser comes out as a foam. It's completely sold out. I can't get it. And I can't get it until I go to the actual packaging for like, to have them on the shelf and everything. For like, that's not gonna be back in stock to October,
Wow.
So I was like, the product is still good no matter the way it comes out of the pump, right? Like you said, it lathers, right? So I'm like, as long as everybody can rub it together and get the lather, I'm fine. So let's keep going. And then I had the green bottles, and then they're no longer in stock. So then I went to the white bottles. So I'm like, learning to roll with the punches is something I never would have done without those other 2 businesses started.
That's hard for a perfectionist. For a person that likes for things to be lined up and just like kind of flowing, it is hard for you to be like, get back up. So yeah.
And I'm thinking like, oh, everyone's gonna notice and all of this, and as long as it works. And somebody told me that about food a long time ago, when they said something about the food, like, the presentation could be good, but nothing matters if the food is not good.
Listen, I don't care how you send me that bottle.
Right.
I don't care. When I get it, like, it being pretty that's all sweet. I don't care. I want to know that when I get that stuff out, that it's going to do what it did the first time and the next time. And I can tell you, I have several batches. Glad I got you sent me the tip of putting it in the fridge.
Thank you so much.
But I know that as I was going, because I'm a profuse face washer, especially with COVID and being around different places. I've flown and everything and coming back, and I'm like, wash that face. If I go outside, wash that face. Like, I'm bit, and it's not harsh. So I can wash my face multiple times, and it doesn't feel dry. It doesn't feel harsh. I sometimes do it just because I need to pick me up, because I promise I feel like it's plumping. I'm going, oh, I feel full and free and like, I do it just as a pick me up. So none of the packaging makes me say I want to use more or less. So I'm totally with people on saying, no, baby, it's about what's in that bottle. Exactly. Like a little bit of magic in there. You bottled up Black Girl Magic, and you got it going on to share with all the world. So I love it. What's something else that you might want people to know about you or your brand?
I would say that a lot more is coming is the good one. that there's going to be a men's line coming out, that I'm actually going to send a tester to your husband. I'm glad that you said you're going to get him to
he is going to show out bad. If you think I'm something, he is something else, honey. So
I haven't
something, he loves it.
That before, but yeah, men are testing some few things for me right now.
Okay.
So there'll be a men's line coming out, the moisturizers for sure. And just that it will continue to grow. Like all the products, like maybe next year I learned that the cherry is actually better than the strawberry. So it might change a little bit. And that's what I want people to know, that it's innovative. As more technology and knowledge comes out about food and how it's grown or processed, that the brand will grow with that. And I think a lot of times these brands get in things where they just get stuck. And it's like, we know parabens are bad for you.
And yet they're putting them in things.
Yes, and so I didn't realize it. If you go look at the information, it's like, oh no, the dosage is not bad for you, right?
Right.
But there has never been a study that shows what the long-term effects are. So if it's not bad for you, but when they take cancerous breast cancer cells out, and 19 out of 20 are parabens, there's something.
It's not right. Like,
yeah.
We try to call it whatever we want to call it, but it's something that's not quite right. Totally.
So yeah, just that we're innovative and we're going to continue to grow.
Absolutely. So, well, next to last question.
Okay.
We know that the summer line is coming to a close, right? Very soon. So when can we expect the fall or winter line to happen?
So here's the thing. So I'm having surgery next week. And I really thought I would be able to do something fun this fall and winter with it. Mm-hmm. But my doctor said I probably will not. Okay. Because it is very labor intensive.
I can believe that.
Because, I mix everything so that they're all the same. So I measure everything out. Mm-hmm. So just like Friday, I was on my feet for like 15 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And so he's like, yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to pick it back up. So I'm not saying I won't have a fall and winter. It most likely will not be. Just depends on how fast I heal.
We want you to heal so that you can come back bigger and better than ever. So you take your time and heal. That's way more important.
So I think it most likely will be, I'll just be back in either March or May with the spring summer line again.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So what that tells me to tell our viewers, I'm going to try to make sure I get this video out quickly, to get in there and order so they can have what they need. Order a lot. Fill it up. Get your basket in so that she can, make sure you are covered all the way into the spring. Last question. This is what I ask all of my.
And then keep it in the refrigerator if you do. Yes.
Absolutely. And what I'll do is I'll make sure I include some tips when I write the article with it.
Okay, perfect.
So, all those dope things. But one word that affirms who you are.
I would say, I want to say courageous, but I think it's more bold.
Absolutely.
I'm very bold, and I would say courageous too, though, because I might be courageous because, like, for instance, no one has ever agreed with my choices. Like, you're gonna leave your job the first time to go to school in Italy. Why? You don't speak the language, so that was a why. You're gonna give up, girl. You know how they like to say, your good government job.
Benefits to go and do XYZ. Yes, I am actually. Thank you.
Right. When I was working for Corps of Engineers and I moved to New York, and everybody's like, why are you gonna do that? And they call my mom, like, why is she doing that?
That's such a Mississippi thing.
Yes. It's like, why is she doing that? And she's going to be so far. And you know how many people fight to get in the Corps of Engineers and all this kind of stuff. So to give that up, move to New York and really not have it figured out, but know that I would be, was, that took courage. It was bold to start two companies at the same time, especially in neither one I have a degree in. But it was the the industry was looking for, for what I was saying. And things aren't hard. If you don't have a degree in something, research it. Things aren't hard to figure out.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's what a degree
what it
is.
is you're trying to do. That's it. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So it's like a degree is the same thing of researching and going to find out something and learning what you don't know, so that was bold to do that. And then, it was bold and it was courageous. It actually took me a long time to get back on the horse after failing, Yeah. And I think with women, we sometimes, like you said, we're too perfect. So it didn't work out the first time. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to be embarrassed again. And I think I was the only one, and I had to get over it. That was really felt embarrassed. Yeah. I was like, everybody's like, oh, you got yourself in Forbes. I'm like, but I got in Forbes for failing. It's still
that's
not
okay. Like, I think we're so much harder on ourselves. And little do you know, there's hundreds of people who are looking at you that are inspired by the fact you even took that leap.
Right. And so I didn't understand that. And so that was one of the things that, like, I really felt that I had to be bold and come back and understand that, like, have the courage to accept that the failing was okay. And it actually set me up for this. It was like the reason I was able to get the shop and everything running so quickly is because I had that experience. I did my website in a night. I was like, done. I know what I want it to look like. I know how to do it. Finish. Done. My mom came in the room. She's like, because I sent her the link. And she just opened the door like, you just did this? I'm like, yeah. What'd you think?
Right. She's like, whoa, what?
Yeah. And I actually did it twice because the first one, I was like, oh, this looks too amateur. I can't do it. And I cut it down and did it again.
That's powerful. Listen, when I tell you, you are a dope Black girl, if I've ever met one.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so impressed just with everything that you're doing, with your willingness to share those intimate parts of yourself, to be able to say, hey, I'm transparent. I'm letting you know, this is how, it's worked, or this didn't work, or I can offer you this. I think you did an aloe mask one day, and I was like, I got some aloe in my backyard. Let me go try that. Ooh, okay.
Yes, they are great. They are great for the mask need. Like where people are wearing the mask. I'll let you in on that tip. I actually have some frontline workers trying it out right now.
Nice.
I definitely want to help them. Like, ever since it started, I had a homegirl that was like, what can I do about this? Look at my face breaking out from the N95. Mm-hmm. So I came up with the aloe mask with oatmeal, and they're trying it out.
See, that's just dope. Like, look, like, so creative and so thoughtful, you know? And that's what it requires when you look at a brand and you think about a person creating something and it really benefiting you, you're not doing it just to benefit yourself. Like, you're looking at this larger scope, and I think that's what truly makes you dope. So
it's what you said about women. I can't imagine having to go to work to protect myself from, getting seriously ill, but then it's also taken away from something that was so good and perfect to me, Right. So right. I can imagine that feeling, and I definitely want to help our frontline workers out because, they're there for us.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that you would want our viewers, readers, watchers, or anybody else to know about you? And you got to give your social media handles too.
Oh yeah, so my social media is _Sirobe_. I didn't know that just my regular name would be taken so much. So definitely the 2 underscores before and last on Twitter and Instagram. Facebook is just my whole name. But I don't want the readers or anybody to know anything about me. I would love for them to just really get into taking care of their face, letting that natural beauty out. If you have a pimple or two, let it be. It will go away. Yes, wear it.
Embrace
it. Yeah. Like this girl, she was getting a chemical peel for 2 pimples. Too harsh. It's too much. It's too much. So it's like, ladies, when you have a pimple or breakout and you just keep at it, that's just making it worse. So just let it be, wash it, keep it clean, don't touch it, don't put the makeup on it. And to just embrace the pimple or whatever that comes up. I have a little scar right here. I'm fading it away. It is what it is.
It is. And it's okay because you're still beautiful. Like, so
Thank you.
just lean into that and be
Yes.
okay with it.
Lean into it. Lean into
Absolutely.
it. Lean into your natural beauty, your natural face. When you like you, we all like you.
Oh,
For sure.
okay. Collection plate, please. Collection. When you like you, we all like you.
Yes.
That's a phrase, honey. That's a quote. That's a quotable.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I'm gonna have to Sirobe quote that one. I'm so grateful that you took time out of your extremely busy schedule to meet with me and to just be so, your customer service is amazing, but just to the candor and just the interaction that you give people when they ask about your products or when they inquire is so amazing. So I'm so grateful that we had an opportunity to really connect. And
Me
I
too.
just want to
This was
say, I
great.
want an exclusive when it's time for that spring summer line to hit.
Absolutely.
So we can bring people right back into like, all right, let's get back into this.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to be so amazing. But
Yeah,
I'm
you
praying
got it.
for you and wishing you well in your procedure. I'm so excited to just support you and to support what you're standing for and your brand. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for like reaching out, setting this whole thing up. This has been great. Wish you so much success with your blog and your YouTube channel. Like, it's so professional. I mean, did you have one before? I don't know if I can ask questions.
No,
but
yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, I've been running my girls' YouTube, Martin Glitter Gang. They've had a YouTube for a few years now. And so I've been doing the behind the scenes with them. And then my husband and I have a relationship show that we do on Facebook Live on Thursdays. And so I've been doing the video part for that.
Okay.
So that kind of gave me the wherewithal to do it because I'm managing like 6 YouTube channels because each of the girls have one. So I was like, you know what? I want to be able to just kind of have a place where I can share my thoughts and really just have a platform. But I don't want my platform to be about me per se. I'd rather my platform be something that highlights and motivates and supports others because that's what I'm good at. So, I mean, I didn't want to do something where I'm singing all the time or something like that. I genuinely wanted to just be about focusing on the many Black businesses and dope Black women and dope Black men that I come across on a regular basis and share them with the world. So that's how that came about. And so I'm just glad to be able to do that.
Well, it's really well done. Everything was so professional. I've enjoyed this experience. I've enjoyed getting to know you. I wish we would have been more friends in college.
I know. It's one of those
we
things
know
where,
all the same people.
listen, when we interact in different places, and I even went and worked in Vicksburg for a few years as in education or whatever, because that's my day job is education. It's just being able to see different people in different places. And I look back on college and I'm like, I don't remember a lot of stuff from college. It's just like a blur.
Right.
It feels so long ago.
Right.
But I do remember some of the impactful like people or influential people that I just encountered. And it may not have been a long encounter, but just saying, you know when you meet a person who's nasty and you're like, I don't like that vibe. But then you also know when you meet a person who truly has a dope spirit. Those experiences, they live with me. I carry those with me. Like the nasty experiences don't stay with me long. Like I don't hold that against the person because I realize we all have battles that we're fighting. Every day is different. But those dope experiences really stay with me. I'm like, I remember this one time. And that's what I live off. I don't live off of the next necessarily negative pieces. And so I think that makes me a little different from some. But the things I can remember from college, I'm like, oh yeah. Like, oh yeah, I definitely remember her. I remember her. But it was one of those things where that was an interesting time.
Right.
I don't even have another word for school. I'm like, I didn't necessarily want to be there. You know, I wanted to be a singer. So it was like, I'm just going here to please my mom. And so I just kind of floated those 4 years. And I'm like, I'm going to graduate? For real? Oh, that's what's up. Thanks. Appreciate that. Didn't know it was gonna happen, but so but I got to get into my niche and really build some relationships that I got a new piece that I'm working on right now. It's called No New Friends, and how detrimental that mindset is. Like if I only kept the friends that I had in elementary, I wouldn't have any.
Exactly.
You know? If I didn't reach out to move into a new state, a new city, when I moved to Florida, as far away from my family as I could be right now, if I had that no new friends mindset, like I wouldn't be able to nurture the relationships that I built here. And so
Right.
just, you have to be willing to say, you know what, I missed an opportunity to get you know you at one point, but I don't want to let that pass by again. I think
Amen.
dope female relationships are so critical. So if we can find those and foster them and create spaces for them, we have to do that.
That's great. That's so good, Michelle. I love it.
Absolutely. So I just thank you. You're the bomb. I'm going to stop
Thank you.
recording.
Okay.